Today we're going to look at addition and subtraction of negative numbers. Negative numbers are numbers that are less than zero. Integers, which is a term that describes all of the numbers, all negative numbers and all positive numbers and zero that aren't parts of numbers, so there's not fractions, it's not decimals or percentages or anything like that. They're just whole-ish numbers that are negative, positive or zero. We can add or subtract a positive integer and that can result in a positive or a negative number. Here are a few examples here. 2 plus 3 is 5, negative 4 plus 3 is negative 1, 1 minus 3 is negative 2, 5 minus 3 is equal to 2. Now we can find, and you might encounter negative numbers sometimes using temperatures, looking at altitudes, looking at accounts, so at bank details and things like that. Sometimes negative numbers occur. Negative numbers in a bank might symbolise withdrawal or removal of money from the account. So we can have a look at and just remember what these operations look like on a number line. So if we start at 2, start here at 2 and add 3, we go to the right on our number line and we add 3, we go 1, 2, 3 skips and we can see we're at 5. Okay, so that's what happens when we do that 2 plus 3. If we look at negative 4 plus 3, we start at the negative 4, so we could think it might be negative 4 degrees. And adding 3 might be getting warmer by 3 degrees Celsius. So it's negative 4 degrees Celsius, it gets warmer by 3 degrees Celsius. So we start at negative 4 here and go 1, 2, 3, and we end up at negative 1. So you can see we've got a negative result, but it's still a larger number. It's further up this side of the number line. So negative 1 is bigger than negative 4. So if we start and look at 1 minus 3, start at 1 and subtract 3. We go 1 minus 3, 1 minus 1, 2, 3, and we're at negative 2 there, ending up at negative 2. 5 minus 3, if we start at 5 here, start at 5 and remove 3 and go take 3, 1, 2, 3, 2. So you can see when we're adding, we move to the right, and when we're subtracting, we move to the left, because we're getting smaller subtracting and we're getting larger adding. If we add a negative number, it's exactly the same as subtracting its opposite. So if I have 2 plus negative 3, that's the same as 2 minus 3. It's equal to negative 1. You can think about it as a negation of the sign before it, reversing the sign before it. So the minus counteracts the plus. So if we start at 2, we would adding would normally get bigger, but because we've got that negation, we're moving in the opposite direction. So it's the same as 2 minus 3. Starting at 2, subtracting 3, we get to negative 1. Similarly, looking at negative 4, we start at negative 4 and adding negative 7. Adding would normally move us to the right because we're adding a negative, we move to the left. So negative 4, adding negative 7, we start at negative 4 here, minus 7. So if we're adding a negative, we move in the left direction. So taking away 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, negative 11. That's our answer. Subtracting a negative number is the same as adding its opposite. So 2 minus negative 5. Normally if we're minusing, we start at 2 and we subtract, we move in this direction. But because we're subtracting a negative, we get that negation again. So subtracting a negative means we're going to move to the right, move in the positive direction. Adding 2 minus negative 5 is the same as 2 plus 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We get 7. Looking at this one as well, starting at negative 6 here, at negative 6, we start at negative 6, take away negative 4, taking away would normally move us this way, but because we're taking a negative, we've negated that negative there, and we're moving in the opposite direction, so negative 6 plus 4. Negative 6 plus 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we get negative 2 there as our answer. Looking at a few examples here, negative 5 plus 2, if we start at negative 5 here and we add 2, we're getting bigger, moving to the right, adding 2, we get to negative 3 there. Negative 1 plus 4, so starting at negative 1 here, starting at negative 1, if we add 4, we're going to the right, we're getting bigger. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we get 3. 3 is the answer. 3 minus 7, so if we start at 3, we're taking away, so we move in this direction, start at 3 here, take away 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we get negative 4. Negative 2 minus 3, so negative 2, and we're subtracting 3, so we're moving in the left direction. Negative 2 here, take away 3, 1, 2, 3, we get negative 5. Last example for today, having a look at adding and subtracting negative numbers here. So 10 plus negative 3. If we're adding, we'd be moving to the right. So we'd be moving to the right, but 10, the negative counteracts that, so we minus 3 and we get 7. Here, minus 3 plus negative 5, negative 3, sorry, negative 3 here. Starting at negative 3 plus negative 5. Negative 3 is the same as minus 5. Because if we're adding, we're moving this direction, moving in the right direction, but we're adding a negative number. So we're moving in the opposite direction. So it's the same as minus 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we get negative 8 as our answer. Next one, question, the part C here, starting at 4, take away negative 2. So starting at 4 here, taking away, we normally move in this direction because we're taking a negative, it counteracts it, we go in the opposite direction. So that's the same as adding 2 to get 6. Negative 11 here, negative 11, take away a negative. Normally with negative 11, taking away, we move in this direction, but we're taking a negative, so it's the same as adding. So negative 11 plus 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we get, going from negative 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we get to negative 5, and that's the answer there.